Hello everybody. Today we're going to take a look at Unit 1.1D in WAMAP, and we're adding decimals in this lesson. I skipped the first question because it seems very straightforward, pretty easy to solve, and I'm going to go with question number 2, where the decimals are two different lengths, and so this will make sure you know how to line them up properly. Let's take a look at the problem on our tablet. Okay, 6.955 or 6 and 955 thousandths plus 1 and 65 hundredths. So the important thing to remember when you're adding or subtracting anything in math, whenever you add or subtract, the numbers need to have similar units. So when you've got decimals, that means lining up the decimal columns. So we have the ones column here. We're going to have to line that up with the ones column over here, and the tenths column with the tenths column, and the hundredths column with the hundredths column. So when you line them up, one easy way to think about it, we're going to write these vertically, is to keep the decimal points lined up. And some people say to imagine buttons on a shirt or a blouse, that you're going to have these numbers, these decimal points all lined up. So if you were to throw a whole number into the mix which didn't have a decimal point written explicitly, you would put it in the ones column. So you just have to remember that you're adding these column by column. And over here we have 1 and 65 hundredths, and we can add, we talked about trailing zeros in the last video. We can add a trailing zero there, and this is now 650 thousandths, which is equivalent to 65 hundredths. And now we have a zero. We can, this is just to make it less confusing, so all of our columns add up. You don't have to insert this trailing zero if you don't need it. But now we'll just add this as if they didn't have a decimal. And that decimal point is going to stay in the same place in our answer. So you could even write a decimal point down there first. So 5 plus 0 is 5. 5 plus 5 is 10, so write down the 0 and carry the 1. 1 plus 9 is 10, plus 6 more is 16, so write down the 6 and carry the 1. And then, looks like my tablet is not catching up. I'm going to reshare. Sorry about this. It's an occasional problem that surfaces from time to time. Now we have the economy size tablet board. All right, economy size tablet no more. We carried the 1, we added 1 plus 9 was 10, plus 6 more 16, and carry the 1 from 16 over here. 1 plus 6 is 7, plus 1 more is 8. So the answer here is 8 and 605 thousandths, or 8.605. So the important thing to remember here is even if the numbers aren't the same length, the decimal points is what we want to line up. We want to align. And if there's not a decimal point, you would have to understand where to insert one. Any whole number can have a decimal point on its immediate right. And then it would tell you which column. But we're lining up the columns to keep the units the same, which is something we have to do whenever we add or subtract numbers. And that's the bottom of the PEMDAS pyramid. Just remember that addition and subtraction, you always have to find the common units. All right, give these a try. Let's see, WAMAP. We got 8.605, 8.605. And we submit this question. Awesome, we got it right. So you can try a similar one. And these are the same length, so that might not be very challenging, but go ahead and see how you do, and if you run into trouble, give me a message from inside WAMAP. Just click on the message instructor button, pick me from the recipients, and hit send.